Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show with your hosts LeeSilber and Ellen Goodwin. This podcast is short, fun, and jam-packed with good ideas that you can start using right away. And here's your hosts, Lee and Ellen.
Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show. I'm your host, Ellen Goodwin, along with my co-hosts,
LeeSilber. Sorry, didn't mean to lag there.
Oh!
And it has nothing to do with the topic. It's me looking at my notes.
Just not paying attention. Okay, well, what do those notes tell us today?
Well, in 1990, that's why I have to look at notes, because it involves something specific. When I'm just talking extemporaneously, I don't need my notes. But the topic today I thought would be, we always talk about faster, easier, better. Well, it's faster, better, cheaper.
Okay.
So being efficient with time is money. If time is money, how do we, not just save time, but save money too?
Save money
if
too.
If time is money, let's save both of them.
I like
Let's tackle both. So I came across a NASA study done in 1990 when, at that point, there wasn't as much interest in space travel. It wasn't as much money, funding.
Oh, okay.
So
sure.
they launched a campaign, and they came up with a mantra, basically, which was faster, better, cheaper. That was their mantra. And it was about how to do more with less money. And so I thought, you know what? That is so true about efficiency. When we're talking, the more efficient you are, especially if, let's say you're getting billed by the hour. Well, if you're billing by the hour, efficiency is not necessarily a good thing.
Right.
But when you're doing things where you're paying somebody by the hour and you're lagging, how many bands were in the studio of like Steely Dan forever to finally shut off the faucet? Enough.
Right.
Get it done. Peg, it's done. Gaucho, it's done. But, there's lots of times where if we wait too long, we procrastinate, the price goes up.
Right.
Or there's a late fee. So how do you use efficiency to save money?
Me?
Yeah. This is a two-person show.
Oh.
It's a little bit of you and a lot of me. No, I'm just kidding. But it's your little bit.
To save time. And, we've talked about this before, food prepping on the weekends is, for me, it's efficient and it saves me time and money because I've got my meals made. And so at lunchtime, it's not like, oh, I need food and I don't want to make it and I don't go out and buy it. I've already made it. It's already been bought. It's done. So that's just one way that, save time, save money.
We always talk about, or not we, but other people talk about, hey, just hire someone. If you make this amount of money and that person makes less that can do the job, you should hire them and let them do it and not mess with it. But I found out recently that you're a handy person.
Right.
You're my handyman. I'm handy. Our producer's super handy. He trumps both of us. And sometimes I'm able to do things because I can just do it on the spot. You got to make an appointment, wait for them to show up. Then they show up. You got to oversee it anyway. You're going to leave the plumber with his crack and everything in your house alone? Who knows what that crack might touch? No, I'm up supervising. So you're there anyway. So why not do it? If you can do it yourself, sometimes it is.
Sometimes it's,
I've saved a lot of money recently, and I paint something or whatever, let it dry until I do the second coat, and then I do something else.
Right.
So you can do it yourself. It's not always inefficient. I think sometimes that's lost. I'm a big believer also in streamlining. Simplifying your life. When people have stuff that they have to maintain, take care of, store, move, organize, that's time wasted.
And
then if you sell some of it, that's money made.
Oh, yeah.
So less stuff, I think, equals more time and, in many cases, more money.
Oh, yeah, because you don't want, the whole storage unit thing, genius business, but when it comes to efficiency, you're paying someone to hang on to your stuff. Really? If one time when I moved, it was like right before Christmas, so a few weeks before Christmas. So I had a party the day after Christmas, like a Boxing Day party. And I told people that they all had to take boxes home with them of stuff I hadn't opened. Because if I hadn't needed it, why would I store it? Just, I didn't make them take stuff.
I was going to say, I think my invitation got lost in the mail.
That was a long time ago.
Must be in my junk email box where all your emails go. Just kidding.
Oh, whoa.
Ooh. How about this? How about buying things that have lots of whistles and bells that you don't need? Everyone says, oh, you got to get this thing. Or maybe it's good for you, but for me to have to learn it, and sometimes, like a coffee maker, I like the one with a timer, and that's it. I don't need all the other. How about you? Do you feel like simplification?
Yeah, because there's lots of things where it's like, okay, But I'm all for simplification. The coffee pots, yeah. I don't need bells and whistles. I don't need espresso. I don't need cappuccino. I just want.
Oh, I need those things.
I just want the hot water going through and making the coffee. So, yep, I'm right there with you on that one.
I would say I love what you did backtracking about giving away stuff that you don't need.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes bartering things
Oh, that's true.
is another way of, I don't need this, but I need that, as a way of saving time and money. I don't need to go to the store. I mean, if your neighbor,
Yeah.
hey neighbor, I see you got that brand new thing you never use, and I got this brand new thing I don't use. Let's trade.
Well, here's one we did in our neighborhood. We got together and we put together a list of who had what things. And it wasn't just like, you've got a weed whacker and you've got and we've got a meat grinder and it was also like who had what spices, because this is what was efficient.
Yeah.
If I needed a meat slicer, let's say, I would just go down the list and I would go, oh, hey, can I borrow it for the afternoon? And
Yeah.
they'd be like, sure. Because they're going to need to borrow some. But it was easier because not everybody had to buy one. How often do you use a meat slicer? Not very often. Exactly. So how many times do you need a weed whacker? Yeah. So that was super efficient.
I love that's a great idea. I know we're going a little over time, but this topic actually, I think, is something that I'm passionate about, because
Obviously.
I have a coupon book in my car. I think I've talked about this before.
Oh, no.
Well, it's like an accordion file.
Okay.
And so it's organized by pizza, burgers. I know. But then, you know what? Sometimes, I know I have a coupon for this somewhere, but or I could find it quickly.
Uh-huh.
And so by organizing all my coupons, and you can do it electronically and digitally.
Sure.
Of course, there's still a lot of places that send out
Yeah.
the paper version. So I cut them out. Subway. Did sandwiches. And I want a sandwich, and it's so efficient. I just look in there and go in and save, $5 on and it adds up.
Time
But you have to have
money.
an efficient way of doing that,
keeping
or
it.
you could get lost looking for coupons, because you go on the whatever site, the entertainment book site, and next thing you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
you're looking at kittens and whatnot. so.
Exactly. Exactly.
But the bottom line is, if time is money, let's try to find ways to save both. And as you've mentioned, I like your idea. It's better than mine. Great job. I couldn't agree more.
All right. Well, go out and be efficient, and then be back and join us next week for another episode of the Faster, Easier, Better Show.